Good morning. Happy solstice on Sunday. What a gorgeous weekend it is. These times right now are really wonky, aren't they? It's one thing that what we've lived through already in 2020, and then you add some political stuff going on and the anxiousness of even the anxiousness of just Christmas coming, and what does that look like, and getting together with family and friends, and as a mom I always just would feel an anxiousness when I'm thinking about Christmas and what to get everybody and how to make it as special as possible. So with all of that in mind, I keep trying to recenter myself, and I just wanted to throw this out at you. A wonderful and very, very brilliant woman named Brené Brown has said so many things and has done some phenomenal research and has written amazing books that just step you into possibilities of other ways of thinking and letting go of beliefs and expectations and so many components that we feel have evolved us to this point, but moments to change. And she gives us the courage and the ability to do that. And one of the really, really neat things that she said that has stuck with me for many, many years now is this particular thought. What if everybody is doing the best they can? So you're in the grocery store and you're super frustrated with the cashier who's moving super slow, or how she's bagging something, or you can just feel your frustration just building on that. And what happens, instead of you getting all your knickers in a knot, you just kind of step back and go, what if she is doing the best she can? And what I feel that statement brings to me is, one, it takes out judgment, because who am I? Who am I to say who you should do what do? That includes like everybody in our lives. And it also steps me anyways into another place of compassion, right? Because my way of thinking and my way of living is just what works for me. It may not work for you. So who am I to say anything? So then I think it steps us into that place of compassion to be able to recognize that everybody thinks and rolls and lives, and to just accept people, which then I feel it steps into a level of respect, where we really just simply have to respect everybody's wishes and how they go about life. So my shared story for this week is, I had this really interesting experience that I was to meet a professional. I had hired him to do a job for me. And when the set time came and that day came, I said, he didn't show. And so then I called him and I said, hey, did I goof this up? And I'm pretty sure the person who answered the telephone was his partner, a female. And she was very aggressive with me. And she said, you did not phone back to confirm. And I was like, ah. And I started to apologize, and then also tried to state my claim, where I was coming from and what I understood to be true. And she just said, here, you talk to him. And so then when he got on the phone, I started to speak to him, and he came right at me very intensely. And I tried with him as well to explain my misunderstanding clearly. And he was having none of it. Now, here's the thing. Oh, and also in the background, you could hear his partner, receptionist, whoever it was, just going, and I stopped. And this was a really important meeting. And I didn't know, without having this meeting, how things were going to shake down moving forward. But I just stopped because I recognized he was doing the best he could. let's say it was his partner in real life, he had to kind of deal and respond and speak to me in a certain way to perhaps appease her, or maybe he was feeling that way. I don't know. But together they had this feeling towards me. Secondly, I realized it doesn't even matter right now what I have to say or what my reasoning was or whatever. So I just let it go and I apologized and I said, can I rebook? And he said, well, not for another week. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, that won't work. So I'll have to look somewhere else. He said, okay, good luck. And I don't think he was even that pleasant. And, you know, my first reaction when I hung up the phone, I said, oh my gosh, being self-employed, it's shocking, right? My first reaction was like, oh my gosh, like, how could you not be overly accommodating even? And I grew up with, my dad always taught me, the customer's always right. And so you do your best. However, I know I've screwed up as a business owner many times. And I just stepped back and I said, that man was doing the best that he could in that moment. I bet you he can do better, but I'm just going to let it go. And I also then went into this whole thinking process that I have right now is that if a big boulder, a really weird boulder gets thrown at me or blocked, it means I'm supposed to go in another direction. And so as life was and is, I just said, okay. So then I went to my other colleague and I said, okay, hey, look, just had this thrown at me. And he said, let me make a phone call. So, and it worked out wonderfully. It worked out wonderfully in the point that the experience that ended up happening was a wonderful experience. It was a wonderful connection. It was a wonderful service. I felt great and everybody else felt great. I wasn't meant to have that service or that experience with that person, but a boulder, a really like, and I had to be thrown at me. And I had to kind of step back and go, how do I want to behave right now? Because there definitely was a time in my life that I would have went, you know, and really got upset with this guy because it's his service and I had booked him and it wasn't my fault. It was his fault, you know, those sort of things. But I didn't bother doing that. I didn't want to do that. I literally just said, mwah. So my point is from that story, and as life is really wonky right now and there's a lot of cucarachis of experiences going on right now, I really encourage you, here are my threes. I really encourage you to, one, when you've got someone in front of you or something is being thrown at you, to step back and go, they're doing the best they can. Can I give them compassion? Can I give them respect to where they are at and not judge them and just wish people well? Number two, being in the moment and just being grateful. There's a lot of shit going on around. Where can we find some gratitude? Where can we dig? There was a moment in my life that I would wake up every morning and before I put those feet on my floor, I would come up with 5 things, people, whatever that I'm grateful for. And at that moment in my life, it was wonderful because I had 4 children. So I'd rhyme off those 4 names and I'd have 4 right off the bat. And I only had to come up with another one, but it shifted me. It was enough to shift me, dig deep. Even sometimes my 5 points were my 4 kids and my legs because they were strong, but my neck was screaming at me. So find those points that you get to choose on how you roll. You get to do you, everybody else gets to do them. And my last one is be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. There are no rules right now. There are no, how do we say it? Like it is so wonky. You get to start creating your own path. You get to start creating maybe even some new traditions. Be flexible. Try not to be too rigid. Be flexible. Be compassionate. Be open. Take care of yourself. Ground yourself. Focus on gratitude. Focus on what is working in your life. Take that time take those moments to breathe, get outside, and do you. Mwah. Cheers.